Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering what is really going on with Angel Reese. Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness.
Reese is listed as day-to-day again, but if you followed her career, you know what that usually means. Last year, it turned into a season-ending wrist injury. And now it's a mysterious back issue that comes just as the Chicago Sky have been winning more without her. On the other side, Caitlin Clark continues breaking records despite dealing with a legitimate groin injury. She's always showing up for her team as the Fever fight for playoff contention. So is Reese really hurt? Or is this the most predictable disappearing act in WNBA history? And how has she been embarrassed after being accused of quitting on the Sky? If you think this is just another Reese PR stunt, drop a fire emoji and a baby giraffe in the comments below. Let's go.
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard.
Angel Reese is day-to-day again. And fans can practically recite the script by now, the same vague updates, the same disappearing act, and the same timing that always seems to hit when things aren't going well for Chicago. It's a pattern we've seen before. Last year, it was her wrist, a supposedly serious fracture that led to surgery framed as necessary to prevent arthritis before she even hit her mid-20s. Just like that. Tar. Season was over, with no gradual comeback, no late push to finish strong. Simply done.
Hey, look, bro, you gotta remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is nuts.
Now the sequel has arrived, this time with a mysterious back injury. There's no clear timetable, no real explanation, just the claim that it showed. It's up right in the middle of another rough stretch for the Sky. You can look at the schedule and see the pattern play out. Big losses start piling up. The pressure builds for her to turn things around, and suddenly she's not in uniform and not even on the bench. At this point, it's almost predictable which week her status updates will shift into indefinite absences.
Angel Reese! She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait, what's going on? What's going on?
The strangest part is that she couldn't even be bothered to travel to Indianapolis for a game against the Fever, a matchup that's supposed to be one of the WNBA's biggest draws. This is the league's self-proclaimed IT girl skipping out on the hottest rivalry of the season. Yet just a few weeks earlier, she was in Indiana for the All-Star game, all smiles for the cameras, and even staging a marketing stunt where she claimed she took over Caitlin Clark's trap. Apparently the back holds up fine when it comes to attention-grabbing moments, but not when it's time to actually face Clark on the court. A pattern more and more people are starting to notice.
She's using her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that. And now she said, hey, the Chicago Sky sucked this year. Peace.
Then naturally, The speculation begins. Is this about protecting her brand from another high-profile setback? Is it about safeguarding her stats by sitting out the very games where she might get exposed? The conversations around her aren't flattering. Commentators are already suggesting she's packed it in for the season. Some are saying it outright. She's quit.
She identified once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not going to win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my resume.
2 seasons, 2 injuries, both showing up right when the narrative around her game is at its lowest point. Each one conveniently erasing the chance to see if she can handle a losing stretch and still contribute. Put those timelines side by side and it's tough not to see strategy where others see bad luck. What makes it even harder to defend is that the moment she's out of the lineup, the Sky start playing like an actual basketball team. That's when this story shifts from suspicious to almost unbelievable.
Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
The Sky's win-loss column doesn't match the way they market Angel Reese. For someone promoted as the face of the franchise, the results tell a very different story. The team actually performs better when she's out, and it's not just a small sample size. The stretches without her are when they manage to put wins together and avoid the sloppy losses that drag them down the standings. That's not exactly the resume of a supposed cornerstone player.
That's good! Burn! Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great! Burn!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Rebound! Burn!
You only have to look at Chicago's matchup with Indiana when Caitlin Clark was sidelined. Most assumed the Fever would be vulnerable without their leader. But instead, Lexi Hull stepped in, dropped 17 points, finished with a +2, and Indiana rolled past the Sky. That's the same Chicago team that hasn't managed to beat the Fever in any scenario this year. Even without Clark, Hull, Boston, Mitchell, and Cunningham all clicked because they trusted the flow of the game.
Oh.
No one was forcing bad shots just to protect a brand.
Williams gonna have to hurry off the dribble, rolls out. Oh, open 3. Oh, what a sight for Alexi Hull. She has needed that one to drop.
Alexi Hull catching fire.
Now Chicago just needs to get it a little bit more settled here in the half court. Nurse loses it. Mitchell 2-on-1. It's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham. Cunningham right there for 2.
Team chemistry isn't complicated. You either have players who elevate everyone around them or players who slow everything down. When Reese sits, the ball moves more freely, and the numbers back it up. Chicago's offense doesn't stall waiting for her to post up or chase rebounds out of position. Instead of forcing the same possessions over and over, the guards actually run the sets. The wings cut with purpose, and the shots come from clean looks instead of desperate heaves as the clock winds down.
What they do not understand is that coaches, and I know the WNBA in some regards isn't a real sports league, and I don't know if they think like real coaches and real people in sports, but the number one ability is availability. If you're not available, you have no value.
It's the classic case of addition by subtraction. And the irony couldn't be clearer. Take away your so-called best player, and suddenly, the team's energy rises. Analysts have noted the improved spacing and faster pace when she's not on the court, and even the bench looks more locked in. Coaches haven't said it outright, but their hints are obvious. The Sky play with more urgency when every possession isn't being forced through a single ego.
Her part. Everyone else, go rebound her misses! If she keeps missing layups at this rate, she's going to be serving buttermilk pancakes at Denny's. Butter? Did somebody say butter? Butter pecan! Burn! At a certain point, you just got to applaud greatness. A me-bound on her back? Are you kidding? Bang! Simon says, give me another pray-up. How about it? Bang! She really hit under the basket on a layup. Get this girl GPS. Bang! Everybody get up on your feet. It's time to meet and greet the most underpaid athlete.
That's where the label of the biggest hoax in WNBA history starts. To stick, a true star makes their team harder to beat, not easier. If your absence turns your squad into a tougher opponent, the issue isn't the supporting cast, it's you. Chicago playing better basketball without Reese is becoming impossible to deny, no matter how the PR team spins it. And when you stack that against what's happening in Indiana, the contrast is brutal. Now Reese disappears, and her team finds ways to win without her. Caitlin Clark's presence immediately transforms the Fever the second she steps on the floor.
Clark appears to have a legitimate injury that everybody can trace to a moment and a time during the games where she re-aggravated. She originally injured. She had a comeback where it lasted 2 or 3 games, re-injured it. They've hinted at a time frame of late August that she may return. Nothing but a mystery surrounds Angel Reese.
While Angel Reese disappears behind another round of vague injury updates, Caitlin Clark continues to show up. Even while battling a legitimate groin injury, she's still in the arena, in uniform when possible. She's locked in with her teammates and connecting with fans. This season, she's averaging 16.5 points and nearly 9 assists per game, leading the league in assists numbers that would be impressive for a fully healthy player, let alone one competing through pain. And when she's on the floor, those assists aren't empty stats, they're game-changing plays that swing momentum and deliver wins.
Indiana Fever destroy the Chicago Sky in Indianapolis on Saturday. Guess who wasn't there? Angel Reese. Angel Reese declined to travel to Indianapolis, and her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now, and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there. All we've heard is day-to-day, and Angel Reese has disappeared.
The injury hasn't stopped her from rewriting records. And unlike certain players taking extended day-to-day vacations, Clark still travels with Indiana. She's on the bench supporting her teammates, breaking down plays during timeouts, and staying involved in the battle whether she's in the lineup or not. It's a visible commitment, and more importantly, it's the kind of presence her team can.
I'm proud of this group. I think we've shown all season long, they're resilient, they're connected. They pull for each other. They enjoy one another. They celebrate one another, and that stuff alone is good for 10 to 12 points a game. And for this group, the way that they share the ball, how unselfish they are. I mean, I'm really proud of them. It's not been ideal circumstances all season long, but they've shown the character of who they are. They've been resilient. They've responded to adversity, and they continue to elevate one another. And I couldn't be more proud of this group than I am at this moment.
The results speak for themselves. The Fever are 4-0 against Chicago this season, winning whether or not Reese is even in uniform. In matchup after matchup, Clark's leadership has set the tone. And it's not just her. Aaliyah Boston controls the paint. Kelsey Mitchell provides steady scoring. Sophie Cunningham brings toughness that shifts games. Lexi Hull delivers big minutes, and Natasha Howard adds the kind of veteran presence most teams would love to have. It's a roster built around Clark's style of play, and it works.
Folks, yet again, the Indiana Fever face the Chicago Sky, and yet again, we whoop that. Oh boy. 92-70, it was a whole party.
And Clark has been clear that her goal isn't just to win one championship, but multiple. And you can see that long-term mindset in how she connects with her teammates. That's why ratings spike whenever she's on the court. She's the draw. Media outlets have already highlighted the dip in viewership when she misses games. While in contrast, almost no one outside of Chicago notices when Reese disappears. Her absences don't move headlines or numbers, but Clark's do. That consistency makes the difference. Clark has shown up night after night through injuries, tough losses, and constant hype, while Reese's vanishing acts only make Clark's reliability shine brighter. If this rivalry was ever equal in the marketing world, the reality on the court has made the gap undeniable. While Angel Reese fades into another cycle of cryptic injury updates, the Indiana Fever are quietly building something real. There's no drama about who will show up or whether their star wants to play, just a clear plan already pushing them forward.
What is the back injury? Everybody's questioning it now, and this will be a third straight season where Angel Reese did not finish playing in games, where she just stopped. She just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened?
The contrast with Chicago couldn't be sharper. The Sky keeps cycling through the same issues: instability, inconsistent play, and a marketing campaign centered on a player who spends nearly as much time in street clothes as she does in uniform. Meanwhile, Indiana's front office is steadily building the right way, adding pieces that actually fit instead of scrambling for quick fixes. They're assembling a roster designed to win together for years. Caitlin Clark has already said she wants to capture multiple championships, and when you look at how this team is taking shape, it feels like more than just talk. Aaliyah Boston is a dominant post presence who's only going to improve. Kelsey Mitchell is a proven scorer who forces defenses to stay honest. Veterans like Natasha Howard and Sophie Cunningham bring the leadership young stars need for deep playoff runs, and Lexi Hull supplies the hustle plays that keep momentum alive.
I think it just says a lot about who we have as human beings. That was one of the things that we made a priority in the off season of, who we bring into this organization. Number one, quality human beings, selfless human beings that want to pull for one another, that understand. We have this depth for a reason, and sometimes it creates challenges getting people on the floor. But in situations like this is why you have it. And I'm just, she's right. I mean, as a pro and as a pro coach, this is one of the most connected groups I've seen.
That mix of young talent and veterans isn't by chance, it's a blueprint. Clark's playmaking is already rewriting records, but more importantly, she's creating a system that maximizes everyone's skill set. It's fast, efficient, and it's winning basketball. While teams like Chicago spend their seasons managing chaos and explaining absences, the Fever are steadily building a core that looks more dangerous every game. That steady rise only makes the constant drama elsewhere look smaller. Angel Reese's ongoing injury mysteries might actually be helping Caitlin Clark more than anyone. Because every time Reese fades from the picture, Clark's impact shines brighter. Fans see who's really showing up, contributing, and pushing their team forward. If you care about the future of the game, the Fever are the team to watch. They've got the talent, the plan, and a leader who doesn't disappear when things get tough. So ask yourself, are you behind the players building a legacy, or the ones clinging to a brand? Indiana's making moves, Chicago is making excuses. The choice couldn't be clearer. If you think this is just another Reese PR stunt, drop a fire emoji and a baby giraffe in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We'll see you in the next one.